I've always loved murder mystery games. Starting out with Ace Attorney and moving into Zero Escape, Danganronpa, and many others, I always look for a new game in the genre to try out. Luckily, the Steam Mystery Fest event is live right now, and I found 5 demos I loved playing and wanted to share it with y'all. So, let me show you 5 awesome murder mystery demos that blew me away. I was just blown away by almost everything that Locomotive's demo gave us. The story was very straightforward and easy to comprehend. You play as Arthur Ackerman, Lady Unterwald's attorney, who's in charge of her will and testament. As she's about to say who gets her inheritance, she's killed. Arthur, along with 2 other characters, are the suspects. The game is basically an entire flashback, as Arthur is in an interrogation room, telling the detectives what happened on the train. It was such an interesting and unexpected story, and it left me wanting to play more and more. The gameplay is actually very simple, but that's a compliment. Normally with detective, mystery, or point-and-click games, I'm almost always lost and I have to resort to a guide. Call me stupid, but that's just how I play these kind of games. However, I didn't have to do that with this demo. I was able to figure out every kind of puzzle the game threw at me, and it made me very happy. The characters were just so fun, and each one of them felt unique as well. Their designs and dialogue not only fit the era of the game, they made each character feel like they had their own personality, even the random NPCs. The art style and soundtrack only added to the immersion for me, and it felt like I was right there in the action. Sadly, there was no voice acting, which I was led to believe the game would have because of the trailer, which kind of threw me for a loop when I first started playing. Another kind of small issue I had was that the game wouldn't fit my screen, but it didn't really bother me that much. Overall, Locomotive's demo is incredibly fun and engaging, and I can't wait to play the full game when it releases sometime in 2023. If you want to play the demo, do so quickly. This demo will disappear from the Steam store once the Steam Mystery Fest ends on February 27th, so make sure to play it soon. Just wow, Paper Trails blew me away. Just like the vast majority of these games, I'd never heard of them. But I looked at a couple screenshots and saw that it looked similar to one of my favorite video game franchises ever, Ace Attorney. I was immediately intrigued and started playing right then and there. You start out as a clerk named Justina at a police station. She runs into 2 important characters named Detective Hunt and Miss Earl, a detective and the senior clerk respectively. The game quickly turns on its head as you figure out while sorting case data that in a recent case, a witness blatantly lied. Detective Hunt is notified and quote-unquote forces Justina to help him interview the main suspect. While it may sound simple at first, the game is very enjoyable and has great gameplay aspects along with a hooking story. The game is almost identical to the Ace Attorney mainline games, with you finding lies and contradictions in the witness or suspect's testimonies, which in this game is actually called interrogations. However, unlike Ace Attorney, I didn't need a guide online to figure out certain clues. I was able to figure them out all by myself, which made me very confident. On top of great gameplay, the art style was superb. I loved the pixel look, and each character's unique design made them stand out, which can be a struggle for some games to get a hold of. Speaking of characters, the writing and dialogue was very witty and, like mentioned earlier, made each character stand out. Not only that, but the soundtrack was absolutely spectacular. Every song matched the theme and pacing of the game. The only problem I had with the game, however, was that the first case felt too short, but sometimes quality is better over length or quantity. Overall, Paper Trails is a must-play game, and you seriously need to try out the demo if you liked Ace Attorney. Even if you didn't, the demo's only an hour long, so it doesn't take too much time. It's seriously so good, and I'm so excited to play more when the full game releases sometime soon. After hearing how Tangle Tower was similar to the Professor Layton series, I knew I had to try out its demo. And wow, what a good game! Grimmer and his partner Sally are off to solve a case in the aforementioned Tangle Tower. Freya Fellow has been murdered, but the main suspect? A literal painting. I'm being 100% serious. The 2 of you solve many puzzles around the crime scene, such as opening a golden egg locked behind a certain combination, finding cassette tapes around the tower to try and uncover the mysteries around the place, and many more. The plot was engaging and left me wanting to try and solve the case once and for all. The gameplay was, as mentioned earlier, full of puzzles. When Grimmer and Sally solved said puzzles, new clues would be unlocked to progress the story. While on a couple parts I had a very hard time understanding how to solve the puzzles, I still had a good time nonetheless. Trying to narrow down certain clues and suspects was also fun, and I felt like an actual detective. The art style too was gorgeous, and every area had such great detail to them, it left me wanting to explore more. The animations of the characters as well were nicely done, and they all flowed seamlessly. The only part I sadly wasn't a big fan of was the soundtrack. A lot of songs just seemed to mesh together or weren't really that memorable. Other than that, the game was great, and I really want to buy the full game now to see who the true killer of Freya Fellow is. While the demo was roughly only 20 to 30 minutes long, it accomplished what it needed to, hooking the player right in. If you like solving puzzles, murders, or both, Tego Tower is right up your alley. Holy crap! The Barker and Mustard Files is one of the best demos I think I've ever played. You take the reins as Harvey Barker, and along with his partner Frank Mustard, you're asked to solve a case. However, a group of individuals threaten you and Mustard by trying to kill you before you even step foot on the crime scene. It's a very engaging story that left me laughing at every turn due to the hilarious dialogue. Barker, Mustard, and every NPC have some of the most witty lines I think I've ever heard in a video game. Even the gameplay itself had moments where I would snicker at it due to just how bizarre yet comical some scenes were. The graphics absolutely blew me away as well with how unique it looked. The game utilized 3D environments with 2D character models, and it just worked. I've never really seen many games do that, so it was super cool how unique and quirky the game wanted to get. Not only that, but the soundtrack was top-notch and added to the atmosphere very well. But I saved the best for last, the gameplay. The Barker and Mustard Files takes the point-and-click gameplay and just somehow makes it way more fun and way easier to comprehend compared to other games with the same format. I genuinely had fun discovering new items and combining them with pre-existing ones. Overall, this demo is a must-play. If you've been scarred by bad point-and-click games, trust me, I have too. Don't be scared to play the Barker and Mustard Files. It's such a treat to experience and you won't regret trying it out. You know, I was on the fence with To Hell with the Ugly and almost didn't play it, but boy am I glad I did. Rock Bailey, our protagonist, wakes up in the back of a taxi cab, not knowing how or why he got there. The driver drops him off in this small town, and Rocky wants to find out what happened the previous night. Things quickly turn sour, however, as a dead body is found where he was last seen, the Zooty Slammer Jazz Club. You have to find out what happened and get your name cleared, which was a super cool concept to me. All the plot points flowed together, and I never really had a hard time understanding what was happening at any given point. The gameplay was your standard point-and-click game, but it also briefly had turn-based RPG combat, which, if you know me, I love. It spun the murder mystery genre on its head, and I enjoyed every minute of it. While some characters looked similar, each one of them had their own distinct personality. The game encouraged you to talk to every NPC, and I had a blast doing just that, wondering what would come out of their mouths next. The art style too was something I had never seen before, but it looked wonderful. And of course, the soundtrack was great too. I didn't have any major complaints with the game besides one thing that I definitely overlooked: the button layout. The keys were all over the place and were very difficult to comprehend compared to other PC games. Besides that, the game was great, and To Hell with the Ugly is one game I'm very excited to play when it releases sometime soon. I hope you all try out these great demos when you have the chance. Remember, Locomotives will disappear from Steam on February 27th, so make sure to play that along with the other games on this list. If you like the video, be sure to like it, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those post notifications so you know when I post next. With that out of the way, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!